Hey everybody, Lawrence Michael, Operations Manager for Air Quality Remediation, making another first walkthrough video of a office building that we're starting a mold remediation on. This will be a lot of mold remediation, but not only that, it'll be a lot of contents cleaning and detail cleaning of all the items and surfaces throughout this office building. A little bit of backstory. Last summer, an air conditioning unit went down at this property because of the coronavirus. Nobody was on site to realize that the air conditioning unit had a fault or an error code and shut off. So by the time people got back to the office, once the country started opening back up again, thank God, people got back to the office, figured out that the air conditioning unit wasn't running. Unfortunately, at that point, the damage had been done. The relative humidity had skyrocketed, and now there was mold growth throughout the entire office. So at this point, we're going to go through, do our remediation as always, but we're also going to be detail cleaning all the items and all the surfaces throughout the office, so that way there's no risk of a future mold contamination issue. So as always, for those of you that have seen our other videos, pretty standard fare. We set up our air scrubber. This is a HEPA 500. HEPA, of course, is high efficiency particle air. It'll get 99.97% of the spores or the particles or fibers or particulates for that matter out of the air or off of a surface down to 0.3 microns. Just as a perspective, a mold spore is about 1 micron, so 0.3 is a lot smaller. So this HEPA air scrubber will filter out all of those mold spores because, again, it filters out down to 0.3 microns. So as we walk through, we have just a regular receptions desk. So we'll have to HEPA vacuum and sanitize all of these surfaces, and we'll mop the floor on our way out. This co-base will have to get wiped down. As we continue down the hallway, here's some wheelchairs. We have one of our technicians HEPA vacuuming all the surfaces in here now. Here's a good look at some mold spores that we found on the wheelchair. So all that circular pattern, that fuzzy pattern, it really makes it evident with a flashlight. So if I turn my flashlight off, you might not notice it right away, but once you hit it with a flashlight, it makes it real visible and easy to see. We have a lot of dust and dirt build up on these wheels, which is going to make the rest of this wheelchair real susceptible to mold growth. Filing cabinets will all get the exterior surfaces wiped down. We won't be going inside any of the filing cabinets for personal information, but we will be going around all the outsides. I was surprised to find that there weren't really any mold spores on this piano. Normally, and unfortunately, wooden pianos are pretty susceptible to mold growth, and they're normally quite expensive, so it is a shame that a lot of times these pianos that are affected with mold growth sometimes can't be salvaged, or even with the increased value of the piano itself, it's not financially feasible to clean the piano because it's all on the inside. So you'd have to take the entire piano apart to be able to correctly and effectively do a remediation and decontamination on it. So it just makes it so that it doesn't equal the value of the piano itself. They did install dehumidifiers in the space throughout the office, throughout the entire building for that matter. So that is helping bring that relative humidity back down now that they've fixed the initial cause. That's the big thing. You have to fix the initial cause of the water incursion or the high relative humidity. In this case, it was that air conditioning unit that had shut down. So they fixed the air conditioning unit, installed dehumidifiers throughout the space. We are going to be cleaning all the supply and return vents throughout the entire building. And you can see these return vents are pretty dirty, which most return vents are if they're not periodically cleaned. I get the question all the time, well, how often should they be cleaned? It really depends. It depends on how big the space is. It depends on how often you change your air conditioning unit filters. Depends on the outside air. If you're surrounded by a lot of farmland and there's a lot of dust and dirt being kicked up all the time, you will have to change the filters and clean the duct system more frequently than if you were in more of an urban or city environment. Under these tables we can see some mold growth as well. Yep. So underneath all these tables and chairs will all have to be decontaminated as well. But back to the duct cleaning, I recommend once a year, once every 2 years is probably a good maintenance schedule to shoot for cleaning the ductwork. Another office. I don't want to take too long on your time watching the video, just me walking through everything. But there was another area I did want to show you that was greatly affected, we'll say. So we have, here's another one now that I'm thinking about it. This isn't the one I was going to show you, but this is another one. So we can start to see on this wooden hutch, I guess, on this side. And then down here on the drawers. And here on the front. All this circular fuzzy pattern, this is all mold growth here. And then a really good view is right here. That's a substantial amount of mold growth on this wooden hutch. Trying to get it right with the flashlight so the camera will focus on it, but I think you're able to pick it up and see. Obviously you can't see it as well as your naked eye, but I think the camera was able to pick up some of it. So there's one more spot in here I want to show you. Like I said, it is throughout. We do have another awning. So there are supply and return vents throughout the entire building that we will have to hit. But there was one more area that I really wanted to show you because it really visually illustrates what we're looking at here. So here on the side of this desk, substantial mold growth here. Again, that fuzzy circular pattern. On the bottom of the desk. Again, really bad. Really bad there. Starting to be on the back as well. On this side, again, quite substantial. And then finally this side of the desk, again, quite substantial. So that's about it. Like I said, I didn't want to take too long. I didn't want to make the video repetitive, but I did want to show the extensive areas that we were dealing with so you could get a good visualization of what we had going on. As always, I will make another video at the end of the job so everybody can see what we had going on, how everything has been cleaned and sanitized and remediated per that IICRC S520 standard, as well as the supply and return vents cleaned per NADCA standard. As always, if anybody has any questions, any concerns, any issues with any indoor air quality issues at either your residential or commercial property, definitely give us a call. Let us know. We are on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Look us up on any of our social media platforms. I'm always on call, so if you have any issues, reach out and we'll come help you with any indoor air quality issue you may have. So I appreciate everybody for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.